Hello and welcome to another home training video. My name is Rhys and I will be leading you through a series of exercises today, all about passing and receiving under pressure. There's going to be some finishing to this session. There's going to be some ball control and some turning. Today's session is one of our wall and a ball sessions. That's basically all you need for this. We're also going to be using 2 nets for this session. However, if you don't have nets, you can use absolutely anything as a target, even the outside of your couch on the left and right side. You could even just use that. So don't worry if you don't have any nets to use. My setup with the nets is also going to be where the nets are alongside my wall and my rebounder. That is just because of the space that I have available to me. If you want to put your nets in behind you instead or to the side of you because that makes more sense for your area, that is completely okay. What you want to make sure that you're doing though is that you have one net more to the right and one net more to the left, and that you can clearly tell which color cone corresponds to which side net. So for me, as you can see here, green is going to be my net on the right side and blue is going to be my net on the left side. In addition to a wall, 2 targets, a ball, and your running shoes, you also need 2 different colored cones. It will be important for this session that they are 2 different colors. If you don't have cones, you can use any 2 items that are different colors that you will not break. But to start off this session, you are going to have 1 minute on the clock and you are going to be dribbling around your area. I'm looking for some creativity. Show me your absolute best skill moves. I want to see anything, your absolute most creative skills, your best touches on the ball. Show me what you've got as you dribble the ball around your area and be creative here. You can use those 2 cones as a guide as well to do skill moves, as though they are defenders or a gap that you have to go through. Use those as a guide to help you do your skills here. And you can watch me doing some skills here for ideas, but don't just keep your eyes on me if you're doing the session alongside me here. So I'm doing a variety of right-footed and left-footed touches as well. I'm probably doing too much on the right foot here. I need to do more on my left. Rollovers, step-overs, that was a roll cut. Little scissors, L turns, V pushes, all of the different stuff we've worked on over the course of the past few weeks, all of these different skills. I'm going to slow down one of my favorite ones here that I did, where I did a scissors and a backwards touch through my legs after a rollover. Have a look at that, see if you can pull that off too. Once the minute is up, you're going to stop, have a quick sip of water if you need one, and then you're going to start in front of your 2 cones and you're going to bounce it in between your 2 cones against your wall. Check your shoulder, look at what's behind you, and then take an outside touch or an inside touch around either color cone. You can have someone call a color for you if you have someone to help you out with this session, and if not, you can call a color in the moment to decide which one you would like to go to. If you want to increase the challenge for yourself, I definitely encourage you to have someone call a color for you as you are passing the ball so that you have less time to react. And again, I'm doing a variety of inside and outside touches. I'm checking my shoulder after each one. You can't see me doing that quite as well because you can't quite see my head here. But as I do this pass, I'm going to have a look over my shoulder, make sure I can actually go that way, because we don't want to be going into space that isn't available. So we're assuming every single time that we're doing this that there is space in behind us that's available. If there wasn't space that was available, we would take it back the way we came from the wall, or maybe a touch to the side rather than in front of us. So we make the pass. It has to be a hard pass up against the wall, not too soft, so that we can get a good rebound on it. Checking our shoulder, looking at what's behind us, and then taking it around those 2 cones there. Add in some game realistic movements here as well, with arm swings and little fakes, some deception, like you're going to take it with your right foot and then you take it with your left foot instead. The more comfortable you get at this, the faster you're going to be able to do it, the more game realistic you're going to be able to do it. We're going to now move on though to a touch through the legs as we take it to the cone. So same thing, we make a pass, we have someone call a color for us, and this time we're going to take a touch through our legs to get to the next cone, and then turn and do that process all over again. So for this one, I can either have a little bit of a hop with my leg that is not doing the skill, or I can keep that leg planted. I just have to make sure if I do that the other leg that is not doing the skill is in front of the leg that is doing the skill, because I want to make sure I have enough room to take it through the legs and then back around. So keep on trying that. Game realistics such as having a little bit of a hop in there. You want to make sure as well that your touch is a light one. You'll notice on all of these, my touch is into space out of my feet, but it's not too far away from me that anyone else would get it before I can. I'm always going to be the one in control if my touch is nice and soft like that. So don't move on just yet. If you want to practice that more, keep on practicing it until you get the hang of it. But we are going to move on if you're ready to, or when you are ready to. We're going to move on to what's called the dummy. So I pass up against my wall, and then I'm stepping over the ball, like that step over skill move we've talked about in a lot of different sessions. I let the ball go through my legs here, and then I turn, and I'm going to go back to where I started, in between blue and green, just in front of blue and green, actually make the pass through blue and green, through the legs, and then take it back around. When you get to the top of your area, you can do any kind of turn to go back. It can just be a basic cut. It can be a step over again. It can be a pullback. Any kind of turn to go back and start again. Make sure the pass is a good one though. If it's too soft, you're not going to be able to get it through your legs to the same degree if the pass is a good strong one. And you also want to make sure, if you have the hang of this already, make sure you're checking over your shoulder. What's behind you? What's in front of you? Have a look so that you can see, is the space behind me actually a good way to go, or would there be a different way that I should go instead? Now we're going to restart at the very beginning with our inside and outside touches, but we're going to add in a finish. So with the two colors that you have here, if I hear blue, I'm going to shoot at the net closest to blue. And if I hear green, I'm going to shoot at the net closest to green. And I probably shouldn't say shoot because it is definitely more of a pass. It's more of a finish, as we say. Finishing is different from shooting. Finishing is with the inside of our foot. Normally, it's an accurate one. We can use the laces or just slightly above the instep where the laces and instep kind of meet, where the laces and the inside of the foot kind of meet. But we are mostly using the inside of our foot here as though we are passing. Just get some power behind it as well, so long as you are not breaking anything in your home or damaging the walls. As you can see, probably on my nets, I have something actually in behind them so that I'm not hitting the wall each time, and that the couch or the cushion in behind that net is taking the pressure off of that instead. And again, an inside or outside touch to receive a quick turn. I need to accelerate after I turn. That's something I haven't quite talked about yet. I need to make sure as I turn, I pick up the speed. I don't slow down because I don't want anybody else to get that ball before me. I want to get the ball. And when we are turning away from a defender, we are doing so to get away from them. So if we slow down, we're only allowing them more time to get back in and chase after us. So after the turn, pick up the pace, keep the ball under control, and then get your hips angled towards your goal. Let's say your nets were to the side of you rather than in front of you, or maybe they're even behind you, whatever. You want to make sure your hips are angled towards the net as you finish the ball. If your hips are not angled towards the net, you are less likely to score. So you need to make sure, even though we're trying to do this at speed, we need to make sure our hips are set before we finish. The timing of the finish is so crucial here. It cannot be too soon. It also should not be too late. Don't wait for it. Don't take too many touches before you shoot, but make sure it's the right time as well. Not too fast. Not too fast, not too slow, like a lot of things we talk about. And we're going to move on now to the through the legs touch as we go to our wall, and then take it back to the color and then finish at that color. So I'm actually doing this with two colors that are being called for me. I have the wall, someone might say green, and then another color, and they might say blue. And I am having to react really quickly in the moment. And you can add that challenge as well, or you can just stick to one color where it's green to turn and also green to shoot. Now, also to add more challenge here, you could have it where every time you hit the cone, it doesn't count even if you score. So you have to not only score, but avoid hitting that cone. That's going to help you have a more accurate pass into the net here. Also, don't be lazy with your finish. Sometimes I'm lifting the ball over the cone so that I don't hit it. Still have that power, still have that accuracy. Lifting it over the goalkeeper can be useful in some instances, but this isn't really a chip that I'm doing on some of them that I'm lifting it over. Don't do it with your toe. Use the proper part of your feet here. And keep that ball under control when you do the skill move as well. And when you're ready, you can of course move on to the through the legs touch as you go through the legs, and then a color is called for you, either green or blue, and you score on the net closest to that color. If your nets are facing the way that mine are, you do have to now angle your hips even more because you have to turn back in the direction that the wall came from. I might need an extra touch to set my hips here, and you'll see some really good ones here where I took a touch after doing the skill move to get it out of my feet into space and to set myself before doing the finish. If you try and do this while you're off balance, you are way less likely to score. You might end up making yourself fall over instead. So make sure you have a good touch to set yourself up. Here's a really good one as well where I did a pullback into space to reorient my hips, and without even letting that foot touch the ground, I managed to get it back and score. So try some different variety here of how you touch after the net, but then still work on getting the finish off quickly. You'll see even on the ones that I touch it, as soon as I touch it, I'm basically looking to finish right away. I'm not taking too long or too many steps in between before I make the pass into the net. And also make sure you're doing the step over with both left foot and right foot. You should have been doing the through the legs with both left foot and right foot as well, and the touches with both left foot and right foot. Don't be sloppy here, just doing it with your strong foot. Try a variety of left and right foot through the legs and left and right foot finishes here as well. So of course, feel free to send me your videos of you doing this one as well and show me what you've got. And we are going to move on to today's skills challenge. Now, for today's skills challenge, it's going to be very short. I just want to see how many times can you juggle the ball without it dropping on the ground. And for those of you that are participating in today's skills challenge, just make sure you have enough room to juggle where you are not going to accidentally hit anything and break it, such as a TV or a picture. And for older players, U13 and up, I'm going to add another challenge to this where you are going to be trying to do a skill move here that I can't even do myself, which is called Around the World, where I'm trying to put my foot around the ball as I juggle it. So that's a really tricky one. Give that a go. Different variety of a skills challenge for you to do. Send me in your videos of you doing that skills challenge as well for a chance at winning prizes. So there will be no fitness challenge today because the other video accompanying this one this week is going to be all about fitness itself, where we're not going to touch the ball at all, and we're going to do fitness instead for the entire session. So no fitness challenge in this one, just the skills challenge. We're going to move on. You can make this one kind of into a fitness challenge if you want as well. But what we're going to be doing on this one is just like we started with any skill moves and creativity and touches that we wanted at the start in 1 minute. We're going to kind of do the same thing here, but now we're adding in the finish whenever a color is called. So I'm doing my skill moves. I'm going around my area, different right foot and left footed touches, different fakes. Maybe I'm pretending like I'm about to shoot even though a color hasn't been called. And then as soon as a color is called, I'm looking to attack the net and finish it off. I could even, as I hear green, I could even fake at green, fake at blue, and then score at green. Keep the ball moving the entire time. Don't let it stop. Even if you hear the color, you can still take a couple extra seconds to maybe do a skill move first or a fake first and then finish it off. Show me some creativity here. Show me what you've got. Chops, crowns, all of the different skill moves we've talked about. Tons of V pushes here that you're watching. Step overs, fake shots. I'm going to do a couple fake shots in a row. and then I'm going to finish eventually here. And that is it for today's session. So feel free to keep on doing that one much longer than I just did here. Add some fitness into it as well if you want. Then, as you can see me here doing, get a proper cool down in. Make sure you're not just sitting down right away, that you move around the legs and you shake them out and you do different dynamic movements to keep yourself from just cooling down too fast and potentially ending up injuring yourself. So I hope you enjoyed today's session. I hope it was a fun one for you. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope to see you all very soon for another home training video. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.